So this week, our president's going to be in the Middle East for the first trip in his second term. While there, the Donald is expected to accept a luxury plane from the Qatari government to serve as Air Force One. Trump, who has expressed reasonable frustration about the long-delayed delivery of 2 Air Force One jets from Boeing dating back to 2018's contract, said on Monday that instead he's going to, take the Qataris up on their offer.
I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out because, again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Now, the value of this plane is estimated to be around $400 million. The problems with this are both obvious and legion. First off, it's illegal. The Constitution's Foreign Emoluments Clause forbids public office holders from accepting a present, quote, of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state, end quote. Trump said, in effect, nothing to see here. That it's not a gift to him, but to the Department of Defense, and, oh, by the way, will just happen to come with him when he leaves office for his presidential library. Ethics experts universally are saying, nice try. If it's going to be going to his library after he leaves office, then it's not really a gift to the United States after all, of course. Moreover, accepting the plane constitutes a clear personal gift, and it blatantly opens the door to Trump feeling beholden to the Qatari government. And nobody gives a gift, particularly for nearly $500 million, if you're not expecting something in return. Now, whether that manifests itself in public policy, weapons deals, or whatever, then other nations would clearly get their goodies lined up for Trump as a way of influencing presidential decision-making. And don't tell me for a second you wouldn't pat it past him. If it's possible to make this arrangement even worse, consider that Trump already has existing and proposed business deals in the Gulf and in Qatar specifically. Now, if you remember, before his first term handed control of the business to his sons, kinda sorta, he also pledged that his companies would have no dealings with foreign private companies. And while I can certainly argue he neither lived up to the spirit nor the letter of that promise, he isn't even bothering to pretend to abide by established law this time around. He's clearly trying to make money on foreign soil, often with foreign governments while president, which begs the question, is his foreign policies in America's best interest or the Trump organization's? Think about how nuts this is. Try to compare it to every other man who has sat in the Oval Office before him, whether they got a bottle of wine, cufflinks, a scarab. The president's office then immediately forked it over to the National Archives. Here, Trump is literally accepting and planning to keep a jumbo jet while he's planning on doing personal business deals with those same governments. Now, it's not like we have to really stretch our imagination to wonder what this might look like. In that first term, despite the promises to the contrary, Trump packed his D.C. hotel and other properties with guests who had business before the U.S. government. For Christ's sakes, he even double-billed the Secret Service for the golf carts they had to chase him around with while he was goofing off playing on his courses. All of this says nothing about the security risk of another nation providing what could amount to be a giant Trojan horse, complete with concerns for structural integrity, tracking, listening devices, and I can go on and on. But as all too often the case, logic and decency may take a back seat to consequences, because the Congress would be the enforcement mechanism for the Emoluments Clause. And to this point, Republicans have shown the spine of a strand of spaghetti. So I severely doubt if there'll be any level of shame that could deter Trump's base instinct when it comes to self-enrichment. Like I all too often say nowadays, I can't believe this story, but maybe by now I should.